Everything in this creepypasta is super duper cool. Like, how the story was described, like, things like how Percy looked, how the ship looked, how the skin taker looked, all of that stuff was really cool. All of it was, like, super, looked super cool in my head. Like, when I was thinking about it, like, I couldn't think of anything, like, less than cool. And also, the stuff that, like, people have made about it online can really show that point, accelerate that point a lot. But also, like, when you think about it, also it would work very well with, like, modern horror, because, like, a lot of modern horror now, I feel the best of it's online, and I feel the best of that kind of stuff is the more homemade, ratchety kind of stuff that looks a bit off, but, like, looks a bit cheap, too, but is still there. Like, I think that's the best kind of horror. And I think that the way this was written, where it's like, well, if it was kind of old and creepy-ish, like puppets and stuff, I think that would work super well in the modern day. While I've only had praise to give so far, I will have to say that the ending was pretty shit and also pretty eh. Like, that stupid twist where it's like, it's all fake, it was all a mass hallucination is really stupid. It's basically just another version of the dream theory, where it's like, it's all a fucking dream. Like, wow, now that it's all a dream, who cares? Like, all that I've thought about, all the things that made the story cool, now gone because it's all just some stupid dream. Like, and this one just being a mass hallucination doesn't change that. Sure, asks more questions like, how did this mass hallucination work and why did it happen? But it takes away the previously established questions like, why, who made a show like this? What's the point of it? Why is it so creepy? Is there a meaning to the show? Like, because now all you can think about is the, why is there a mass hallucination? But since that question is never answered because it's a twist, it it just makes everything else feel like weaker, and also just kind of makes the story a bit less because like now all that was previously built up is just there for the stupid twist. Like, I wouldn't say it ruins the story, but I do think like everything else about the story is really good, but this part is really stupid, and since it's a big twist, it almost ruins it, but not enough that it really matters. Also, I really loved how everything in this story was like low stakes. Like, this was just one show that only was there for like a few people, and it was like very low stakes, very personal. Like, there was no real death or end of the world. Like, it wasn't like, watch this show or you'll die. It was just, if you watch the show, you kind of get scared and spooked a bit. And I think that was really cool, and I think that didn't helped it not become cliche. My last point: this story has an interesting legacy, not as interesting as something like Slender Man, but this one still is very interesting. Like, I think it being one of the biggest ones like this, and like being told in a different way than all the other spooky, creepy little oogie woogie stories about how a game becomes real or something. I think this one, being the way it was told, inspired is the one that mainly inspired stuff like Pet Sculpt, and all of that stuff also inspired like modern analog horror. So I'd say this story has a big part to play in how modern horror is established now. And also, I'd say that like the fan stuff also is like really cool. Just the stuff on this creepypasta itself is really cool, and also it's really fun how like at the time this was like back when the internet was a bit more not, I'd say, like, well, yeah, it was like Westfield or whatever it's called, but like Wild West, like that was more the time when like no one knew what the internet was, so like people were more gullible and stupid. So like it was really funny back in the day when everyone was like, "Oh my god, this creepypasta is real." Maybe that was also just because I was a kid at the time, and every stupid kid is like that, or maybe it was just that the internet was at the time. I really don't know. But still, it was really fun to see that, and it's kind of nicer than like now how like everything is like quite a lot more polished, but it does feel a lot more like, knowing that it's fake. So like, feels a bit more stale. So like, also now that we all know like the tropes and what to do and all this stuff, and also now that analog horror is like on YouTube, which is basically just run by a stupid fucking algorithm that's only there to fucking farm out views, money and like stupid other bullshit. That's makes it so that you stop wanting to actually make good content and just make content so that you'll fuel the stupid algorithm god so like people can watch in a brain dead state. But hey, that's not what this video is about anyway. And I don't sound 40 already. I just watched too much Chris Broad. I'm already becoming that old fuck. Oh, I'm Chris Broad. Sorry, that if Chris Broad ever watches this video, which he never will, hopefully, I'm sorry for that awful impression. And I'm sorry that I also share being British, because I think doing something like that means I not only should revoke my Britishness, but revoke humanity itself and commit to Sudoku. Anyway, that's all I had to say on that shit. But before I go, I wanted to say, this one last thing. Fuck the TV show, it's stupid. It took away everything good and replaced it with a fucking, tooth guy. Like, what's the point of the tooth guy? We came here for Candle Cove, not Tooth Man. Fuck you, Tooth Man. Go back to Toothland, you toot fuck.